We're going to start the texturing process of the using D-Do and getting some more in-depth detail in our map besides the normal map. But first, we're going to be using D-Do. But first, I want to make sure that we have the right map IDs or material IDs for getting a good start in D-Do. So here's the material ID that I made. Um, and these are important because in D-Do we're going to need them to create mask of each material. So the first thing you got to know is that the swatches, when you download the Quixel Suite, there's a file. It's a swatch file, and it will give you all these swatches here from chrome, steel, different types of brass, gold, plastic, skin, rock, ice, snow. It gives you all these color IDs that is a specific color that D-Do recognizes as that material. And if you have that already done, it means you don't have to create each mask by yourself, and it separates the materials. So what I did here is I just took my base color map, which is just a flat plain color that we made from before, and like this dark glass here, I just hit Control on the box here, the white transparency space right next to the layer, and then if that's glass, I just clicked on the glass material here with the eye picker. Whenever you go over the swatches, it gets an eye picker, and then it'll show you what that color is over here. And then all you got to do is make sure Control click, you have your selection of your piece, and then create a new layer, and then go to Alt Backspace, and that fills that in. So that's how that works. So I've already gone ahead and did that for each of our shapes. And what you can do to get a good start on that is the base color that we had before is a good place to start from to get the material ID, which is in terms of D-Do recognizing which, like, this is a flat plastic. So you can see that they're kind of not the same because like this area here on the base color we have this tan color here for the flooring. Well, that's going to be the same material for the whole floor, so our material ID covers that entire thing, which is a concrete. So you can't just copy the base color over and that'll be the material and then fill it in with one of these swatches. You actually got to think about, what's going to be that material, and if it's going to cover the whole part of it. So, but the base color is a good place to start. So I'll kind of go over a little bit of how to do this. It's pretty self-explanatory though. So if we turn this off, here's our blocks, our concrete blocks. And if we turn on the base color, we can see that right here. So that's an easy one. All you got to do is click on the blocks, which is, if you named your layers like I did, a lot easier. I think it's this one here. And then actually what I did is I started from the very bottom, one. Then when I was finished with it, I made this gray to a green, so I knew that that material was finished. But for this one, we would just go to a new material and then go to concrete, which is right here. And there's rough concrete and concrete, and then I just Alt Backspace and turned that into concrete, and then labeled it concrete. So for the other ones, basically in the video when we made our base color from the normal map, when we grabbed each individual shape for, say, this copper piece, from using the normal map and the mask here, and that's what basically we'll be doing again, but just for the material ID. Let me just do about half of this, and then you'll get the idea. So material ID, Actually, let's start off with just looking at the our photo reference here. Um, so let's start down here, and so we have our base color, and then the material ID. Since this is a different color on the photograph, we made that a different color in the base color, but for the material ID, it's just all one brass color. Same thing with this here, and then like this spot here where we have the lights, I made the background a plastic. You just click on plastic and then make this a selection with our actually make sure you have your extra grid on, and I just created a plastic material and pasted that in. And then for the light bulbs, for what we have on our base color, it's going to be called neon, I think. Yeah, neon yellow, and neon red. Where is red? Neon red. And then the black line. That's all basically the same type of material. So it's all just lights. So what I did for the material ID is I just went to glass, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I use glass because that's what lights are made out of. And then I just pasted it in there and named this glass. And this one is an empty layer. Delete that, it doesn't need to be in there. And then this one's the plastic for what's behind the glass. So same that plastic. And so you kind of get the idea, using the kind of the same methods we did for the solid colors, and turning back on and off the grid helps a lot. So if we take a look at this door here, let me just turn everything off so we can see just the door. Right now we have as a base color this, and then the material ID is this red here is wood. So what I did here is I just took red wood in our base color, and then turned on the material ID, and then I have a redwood one here, but I'll make a new layer to re-represent that. And if we go to our swatches, and then go down to varnished wood, you can click on that, and then just alt backspace that, and that'll fill that in with wood. This is exactly what I have here. And then I did the same thing for the steel plate and the window. So if I could find that stainless steel kick plate in our color map, and then went to the material ID, and the stainless steel isn't an option in the swatches. There's more in-depth materials of stuff in the D-Do suite, but right now I just use steel. So you just click on the eye picker and then right to steel, and then alt backspace, and that fills it in. And then same thing for the window, and pretty much everything else. But I just want to mention a few things that are a little tricky. But I think on the other map, which I'll bring that up right now, it got a little bit more complicated, map B. Okay, so here we have our map. So everything green here is glass. So if I turn the glass off and the material ID, you can see that this is like a metal frame and the windows are glass. and most of this is taken up by this stone or concrete for the blocks. Um, and then what got a little complicated here was this like side here. Um, the sign for the where it says what's going to be playing at the theater, um, and then a couple of these extra materials here got a little complicated. So I'll just kind of show you how I did that. And we also have this pole that almost like a barber's pole that our base color's in. Well, that in the material is all just wood. So on the material ID, it's all just one solid color. So basically what I did for that is I just took my view and then show extras and then selected uh, the whole subject or the whole object, um, and filled it in with just a new layer. And then I picked I think it was painted wood, which is this kind of like a pinkish color, so painted wood, and then just name this wood, and then alt backspace. And then that's the biggest difference, I think, is this whole piece is wood, but in the base color it's going to be different colors because that's the way it's painted, compared to the color of what the material is going to be. Like if it's wood, and then it's going to be partly blue and partly pink, it's just wood in the matte ID layer. So I hope that kind of clears that up. And from that, we'll go on and create the textures, which is my favorite part. And so I'm just going to pause the video and we'll come back to that in a second. Okay, so a few things we got to change before we go further. I noticed a few little things that we must change. First of all is this ticket booth window here. It has the normals for this top part here, but the base color doesn't have it, and the material ID doesn't have it. So what we're going to need to do is go down into our normals and select all these shapes. I think it's going to be this top one here, ticket booth, and then some of these shapes here. Yeah, okay, so it's this first one here. Second one. Okay, so it's this one here. So we have these layers here, and I'm going to turn it on, and we're going to control click on the empty space here on the layer. It's not a mask, it's just the preview of the layer. So I'm going to control shift click on the next one, and we're just going to keep selecting these all, and I'm going to cut this out of the video later. Okay, so I've selected all of them, and now I want to go to my base color, and I think it's dark brass is what we called it. Brass dark, yep. So I'm going to just hit I on the keyboard and get the drop picker, and then I'm going to go to make a new layer and call it brass dark detail. And the reason we're putting in a new layer is first I'm going to go click on new layer, hit alt backspace, and you see nothing happens because this layer is on the bottom below our window, so we have to put it at the top or near the top, at least above the window that it's interfering with, which is probably one of these here. Yeah, the dark blue glass. But now we have some stuff sticking over, so we don't want that. So we're going to click on that dark blue glass and hit Control Shift I to inverse our selection, and then hit backspace to delete it out. And then I'm going to make this green so we know it was done, and hit Control D to deselect. Now we also need it for material ID, so I'm going to control click on this again and go to our material ID, and it's going to be called brass dark. I'm going to just color pick that and then alt backspace. The other thing that we are adding to or switching is if we look at, well, it's kind of hard to explain, but if we look at the windows, our glass windows, it's the problem, because when I tried making some 3D geometry of the window, um, it showed that our base color, say like right here on this window, um, it showed that as being, um, I'll just kind of highlight it here so we can see it. Um, Basically, it's the bevel of the window that's giving us a problem, or it's going to give us a problem later on. Is this bevel is actually black, but that bevel is not a part of the glass. It's part of the brass or whatever the material is. So we have to go change that and make that into not the window material, into whatever material it's at. This one it's brass, the other one it's wood, and then the other one it's like copper or something. So we have to fix that, and we can't do it by the normals because it's going to select that. So what we're going to have to do is, I think, just select it. Or wait, no, yes, we can do it by the normals, but we'll have to do something special. So I want to make sure we get them all. So I'm going to start with this bottom right hand corner here. And we may even have to do some on the other map too. So just kind of bear with me here. This is going to be called door. And I'm going to find the window. There's our window right there. So it's this red one here. And I'm just going to select the door. And then I'm not sure if you guys know this or not, but when you have a selection, you can actually go to selection or select and go to modify and go to contract, and you can scale the selection down by a number, and usually the numbers you're going to want something small. So it was 5, that gave us about half of it, so I'm going to put 2 and 1 more pixel. We're going to go, so contract 1 more pixel. Now we're on the glass. So now we have our selection. So I'm going to go to our base color, and I believe it's also in the matte ID too. So the base color is going to be dark black glass. We don't want this to be glass, so we're going to have to be careful because we can't hit Control Shift I, because that will delete all the rest of our glass in our other objects. So here's a way we can do it: is hit Control Shift I, and just don't finish off with the delete. We'll just have to, normally I would hit backspace here and it would get rid of this, but it also get rid of this on the rest of the texture. So I'm just going to take the eraser tool here and just get rid of that, the rest of the glass there. And also on this glass here, oh, it's dark black glass, but it's labeled green. Or no, it's colored green, but it's labeled dark black glass. Because our material ID is not the color we need; it's just the material that Quixel recognizes as the glass. So we got that, but it looks like we still have some black underneath here. And it's in the material ID as well. So what I'm going to do is select our brass 30, color pick it, and then with the brush we're going to very carefully brush this in. That way we don't affect any other areas. And if you have shift, if you hold shift down, it'll go into a straight line. And it doesn't have to be horizontal or vertical for this case. It'll just do a straight line from point A to point B. And that's what I was talking about we got to worry about, is if we just go, painting, we're going to go over some other paint. So for this, you probably want to just get a brush that's about the size of the space, and hold shift and then drag all the way down, and that'll fix it for us. So now I think we have the same problem in the base color. Yeah, see there's a little black there. So we're going to need to find this color, which is brass dirty, and color pick that, and then with our brush make sure we get the whole thing, and I'm just going to hold shift and scroll down, hold shift and scroll left, and hold shift and scroll up, or just push up, and hold shift and push to the right. And that should fix it for that window. So, okay, so we're going to have to do the same thing for all the other windows. So we have this window done. We need to do this window. We need to do this window. Got to do this one. I think even the small one here. Got to do this window, this small window, this one, and this one. So make sure you get all those other windows done. And you don't necessarily have to, like we did on the first one, you don't necessarily have to delete the back of it, as long as you make this brass or whatever material it is cover it, because our saved map is just going to be one flat color. So as long as it's on top, that's all you need to do. But don't forget to do the other map too. So we're going to need this window as separate from this one, and this one, and this one, and then this big window. The small window we might need to do. I think we're going to edit that out in the final one, so it's just going to be one of these. So don't worry about that one. But you do need to do this one, and then all these panes here. When we get those done, we can move on. But I just didn't want to waste the time doing them all, since we already know how to do them, and it's just a repetitive action. So I'll see you on the next video.